Tom E. Curran. What do you say, Tommy? How are you doing, pal?
Hello, Louis.
Everything good? Listen.
Bonjour.
Yeah. We were talking earlier today, actually, about Mac Jones and this game coming up here against the Indianapolis Colts. I thought it was interesting you're talking about how to fix this guy. So you tell me, how do things get fixed with Mac Jones so it doesn't look like maybe we've seen the last week or so?
That's a great question. Keep plowing forward, asking him what he likes, giving him room to make mistakes. Gold star on the forehead when you take a sack instead of throwing it downfield. Another gold star on the forehead when you stand in there and hit somebody on a crosser instead of throwing up a 50-50 ball. I mean, he's gotten such mixed messages, I think, ever since Josh McDaniels left, as to, well, we're gonna morph the offense. You're gonna morph it to what I want? We're gonna morph it. And then we want you to move it downfield a little bit more. We got to be explosive. I mean, we got the Dolphins and the Bills in this division. We got to put up points. All right, I'll throw it deep. Yeah, we don't want you throwing those picks, though. So it's
yeah. We want all the good things, none of the bad. Can you do that for us?
Right.
So Tom, you mentioned mixed messages. So I'm like, all right, great idea. But I feel like the person who is causing the mixed messages is, partially to blame. So I just feel like that needs to be addressed.
Is that Bill or Matt?
Well, ultimately it's Bill, Tom, just because he hired Joe Judge and he hired Matt Patricia. So I feel like that was a mistake, and I feel like he's starting to suffer from it. So I feel like I feel like Bill needs to coach the coordinators more than he does the quarterback. That's how I feel.
Yes. And maybe he is. Maybe some of his commentary builds last week after the Bears game, which I thought was interesting, when I pressed him on, hey, everybody's got to establish a level. You've said that a million times. Max level is not what we would have expected. We're not going to – he missed 3 weeks. Yeah, but he was erratic prior. Well, I mean, we're not going to relitigate the season. He understands that he put the kid 3 steps back, and now the last time he was home, he had 68,000 people booing him. So I think that, Christian, you played for him, and you guys have been around him long enough where I don't think he has a problem admitting when he's wrong, whether it's with draft picks and Duke Dawson or whoever else we want to mention to saying that, look, that didn't work out. I think he's pretty realistic, and I do believe that while it might have been a little overblown how dysfunctional it became, I'm certain that there was friction and frustration on both sides, and I think that they've moved through it, and it kind of hit its nadir during his injury and coming back.
Tom, we talked a couple minutes ago about just how Hunter Henry and Kendrick Bourne have both kind of disappeared from this offense, and how it looks like this offense just looks like a grind on so many of these drives. Outside of Ramondre Stevenson, who everybody's been saying glowing things about his performance, for weeks now, do you see any easy button weapons that they could focus on, something to just release the valve of how tough it is to move down the field and pick up and convert to first downs for this offense?
Let's look at the Jets game. It was a jailbreak on 17 snaps. He took 6 sacks. Can't get it going that week. Weeks without being in the lineup, of course. And then, against Baltimore I'm going deep. Okay. I'm throwing deep all day. So I just think it hasn't been a fit. And it was very much a Josh McDaniels type offense in terms of the underneath stuff and banging it to the tight end. Have we seen a seam pass?
Christian said
I've been saying that for a while.
Christian's language.
They don't throw it, man. It's the easiest pass in the world to throw. Simple.
Down the numbers.
And you got 4 of them. You go 4 verts with 2 tights, and then throw some dude in the flat or a check down. It's like, why don't they run it?
Do you find it interesting last week that, and this is very much in answer to why isn't Bailey Zappi playing, when they finally said, well, enough's enough, we can't deal with this pass rush, we're going to go 5 wide and spread it and let Mac kind of just dissect. That's something that very few quarterbacks in their second year could do. Justin Fields probably couldn't do it right now. Trey Lance, if he was upright, couldn't do it. Zach Wilson certainly couldn't do it. And Bailey Zappi couldn't do it. So he's his own cheat code. As bad as he's looked, and he has looked bad, and he has looked jumpy, as bad as he's looked, you got to start playing to his strengths, and I think that they did that last week. But it's Mego. It is. It's a grind. It's a humorless slog toward the end zone that inevitably ends with Nick Folk trotting out to kick.
Talking to Tommy Curran, NBC Sports Boston, and Tommy, I think it was Matt Castle talking about RPOs, right, and some of these offenses in the league, and to the point of, because I think it's got to come from the coaching staff, not so much Mac. Mac keeps pounding himself against the wall. He's never going to believe in this offense. It's time for them, as you put it, kind of start implementing some of the things he's successful with. Does it start with those RPOs?
He is dying. I mean, he is so open, Lou, to voicing his opinion about what RPOs can do for you, that it's incumbent upon them to get more in there just to shut them up if they don't work. And they did run several last week. Phil came up with the stat that they gained 19 yards on 6 of them, which is not going to set any records.
No.
But at least they're starting. I mean, the whole mentality behind it is to freeze linebackers, freeze pass rush. And, if people don't suck up on it, you give it to a 230-pound back who should be able to run through people as he has been doing. I do have a hypothetical for you guys at the end.
Ooh, I like that.
Based on the Kyrie thing.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh, let me get into this then real quick, because we were talking about this when we started the show, Tom. How disappointing is it that the Colts-Patriots game is just no longer just what it used to be? Like, what's replaced that game, that Brady and Manning matchup that we look forward to every single year, twice a year, is now Mahomes and Allen. Like, how telling is that this is where we're at now with this team? These two franchises, really.
What's that saying? Better to have loved and lost
than never loved
to have
again.
loved at all. Okay. I mean, we got to see the highest of high-level football for a long time, where every single possession was high leverage, and you're going for it on 4th and 2 at your own 21 because you know how good the guy on the other side is. You can't afford one mistake, and decisions like that feed the next decade of football. It's not there anymore. I mean, it's just there are 26, and I did the math. There are 26 teams that I would describe as mediocre. You don't know what you're going to get. There is no there is no high-level football to be seen out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Well, Patriots just had a crap possession and had to punt. They'll get it back in a second because this other team stinks too. That's Sundays for you.
Tom, before we get to your hypothetical, looking at what the Bills and the Dolphins did at the trade deadline and the way that their seasons are going, do you feel like the Patriots are trending towards the bottom half of their division for the next couple seasons? Like, where they stand against these teams, how quick can things shift, I guess?
The great thing about this year, Mego, is that they have a massive amount of cap space next year. And they already went drunken sailor in 2021 to make up for mistakes made and the number of times they went all in for Tom Brady or missed on draft picks. So they right now have the first and third highest expenditures on tight ends and wide receivers, respectively, and they're not getting anything from those guys. It's bizarro, but you'll have Aguilar off the books next year. There's a number of other openings on your team. You've moved on from guys like J.C. Jackson. You have a young core because you drafted well. They're in a decent position to make, hey, I understand why they didn't do anything with trade deadline, because they're not positive what they have yet. So why give up the collateral, get more data on exactly what Mac needs around him, establish fully that he's the guy you want through the end of his rookie contract, and then go from there.
All right, Tommy Curran, NBC Sports Boston. Listen, I thought that they were going to beat Chicago at home Monday night. They did not. So because of that, I'm a little bit hesitant this weekend. They should win this game. Where are you with this game this Sunday?
The Colts are the same as the Jets in terms of upfront speed, so it's good defensively. So it's good that the Patriots actually got an indoctrination into that. Generally speaking, they don't tend to make the same mistake in consecutive weeks, generally. So I'm going to bet that they'll be better up front. They'll have better opportunities for Mac Jones in his second week back. He'll knock off more rust, and they'll get themselves over 20, and the Colts won't get to 15.
All right, there it is.
All right, wait, hypothetical. Give me a hypothetical on
what's
Irving.
the hypothetical?
Oh, yeah.
Real quick.
So I heard Christian said Kyrie will never sign with another team. And I've been thinking this and wondering, as Bill Belichick chases Don Shula, Will Bill Belichick ever win another playoff game?
Ooh, you needed the drum for that one.
Ooh, I like that one.
Ooh, we should discuss that next while you're away.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it. Yeah.
He wants it now.
Oh,
No,
he wins. He does. He wins another one.
no.
Yeah, when?
Not this year.
Within 3 years.
I think he wins one
Yeah.
in 2024.
Wow.
Jesus.
That's not that far. I'm talking about 2024, like a year from January.
Jeez, I felt like 2 years ago I said
no,
he'll
okay,
never.
so the 2023 season to 20.
Oh,
I'm talking about the
so next
calendar
year.
year 2024.
Jeez, Tommy, 2 years ago I
You're going
said
to
Bill.
win a playoff game next year?
Yes.
That's good.
I'm just saying, 2 years ago I said Bill will never win a Super Bowl again. I got freaking shredded. And now we're talking about will he ever win a playoff game? Holy smokes!
I mean, it's not the same layup that it was. They got boat raced by the Bears on Monday night, and we're talking about why wouldn't they win a playoff game? Well, don't get boat raced by the Bears.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right,
Is
Tommy.
boat race dirty? I don't even know. I keep saying it.
Is what?
Is boat race dirty? I've been saying it all week.
I
No.
thought it was a drinking game.
No. Boat racing. You know what boat racing? We'll tell her.
Yeah, you
later.
got boat raced. Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. I like it. We'll figure that
It's kind
out.
of dirty, though, Tom.
We'll shoot
just
you a
saying.
text. All right, Tommy. Listen, we appreciate it, buddy. Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
All right,
Later.
there it is.